Is it okay to sleep together on a first date? Let's talk about that and get intimate with Shai. Hi fam, my name is Shai. Now before we begin, let me just remind you that I am not a doctor, I am not a relationship expert, I am not a psychologist. I basically have zero professional input in this whole thing. What I do have though is Google for some data and research for some input. Let's just call it research, okay? We also invite an open mind as you watch this video, and this particular topic is applicable for all genders. And finally, please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. It is Easy Rock Manila. So again, is it okay to sleep together on a first date? Well, after being quarantined for so long, you go get that action. No, I'm sorry. Anyway, another side disclaimer, by the way, we are putting the factor of COVID and quarantine aside because, well, you know, social distancing, okay? Anyway, going back, sleeping together on a first date. The short answer would be yes, why not? But let me get into some details for you. Imagine that you have a date, you're having a great evening, you're not yet at the level of imagining your wedding or your kids' names, just imagining the adventures you're going to have together, the vacations you're going to have together. That's how well you're hitting it off. In fact, you might even be kissing, making out even. So, okay, so already yung mga nangyayari sa date nyo, diba? Then the next thing you know is, you're right outside the motel, ready to park. What do? Do you go with it, or do you stick to your personal rule about sex wherein that should happen on like the third or fourth date? That honestly depends on how you see sex. You know what I mean? If it's something very emotional for you, if it's something for you that needs to have a very emotional connection between the both of you, then I think you'd want to back off na lang muna. Back off, be nice but firm, and tell them that, you know, you'd want to wait it off, you'd want to see what happens on your next date, you'd want to get to know them first before actually doing it. Don't make it awkward, that's all I'm gonna remind you of. Pero kung sasabihin niya na, magkakada lang tayo, promise, that's another topic for another day. Now, if you see sex as something fun, which it should be by the way, and some sort of way to break the tension, you know, especially if there's already a vibe going on between the both of you, then go ahead. As long as you're safe and there is consent, then go on. Have fun. But just be mindful not to get too attached because you had sex, okay? Again, manage your emotions about it. Which leads me to a story. By the way, I think I'll be having a lot of these stories about a friend of mine with the next set of videos to come. We'll see. Anyway, for this story, I have a story about a friend. Her name is let's call her Beatrice. So Beatrice has this thing, okay? It's not a rule, it's not a habit, it's really just a thing, and you'll understand why in a bit, okay? She goes out on a date with a guy, and then when the guy brings her home to the motel, hotel, whatever, wherever they decide to sleep in, ayan, she has a thing that gets her no longer interested in the guy. That's whether they had a great time or not, ha? Let me explain even further, okay? Kung sobrang husband levels na ng guy na nakadate niya, or sobrang one-night stand levels lang, wherever the guy is in the spectrum, she loses interest as soon as they get to bed together. Of course, she does have a good time, you know, the sex was fun, pero because of the fact that they did it, parang wala na lang muna sa kanya yung emotional attachment. I hope you follow. Maybe it's her way to make sure that she doesn't get emotionally attached because of the hookup, or maybe she just thinks that, yeah, this is not a great way to end the date, so like, di na kita trip afterwards. Baka ganun, I don't know what goes on in Beatrice's head, okay? But yeah, kung magkakaroon man ng follow-up second date, that for her would be the game changer emotionally and not the hookup itself. Do you get what I mean? I hope you do. I hope you're following what I'm saying here. Anyway, so I get why a lot of people are asking that question, you know? We get worried kung iisipin ba ng date natin na if we're cheap, we're easy to get, sex lang habol natin, or will they think that we're going to be clingy after the first hookup, right? especially for girls. I'm sure a lot of guys are worried about that. There really is no right or wrong answer to the question, you know, of whether or not you should hook up on a first date. Because honestly, there's not even a right time to do it. But going back to our question, is it okay to hook up on a first date? Yes, yes it is. Ang daming ko lang talaga sinabi earlier because I'm sure when the situation calls for it, you'll have a lot of questions about whether it's right or not or something like that. So that's why I just had a lot of thoughts about it already. So you know, if you're in a really great date, you're both having fun, you're hitting it off and definitely into each other, I see no reason to stop you from moving forward. By all means, get under the sheets. Malay nyo rin, you know, when you have that first hookup, you might realize that you're very compatible in bed, and that might even be the start of a very, very good and healthy relationship. Who knows? Thanks for watching, fam. Now, if you have any topics you want to discuss with us, you know, the intimate stuff, like for example, first dates, whether you should wax or not, or general grooming, stuff like that. Or if your boyfriend wants you to cook for them but you don't know how to cook, topics like that, comment it down below and maybe we will use that as our next topic of discussion for our next video, okay? Before I go, let me remind you that safe sex means no regrets, and it only gets sensual if it's consensual. Have a great day. My name is Shai, saying bye!